Hello, I'm IBX Toycat, and today I'm going to be talking about a personal story that kind of links into last week's personal story, which was on the worst students I'd been with during school, because basically people were like, oh, so if those students have done those awful things, what are the worst things you've ever done, Toycat? And to kind of rephrase the question, which makes it even sound worse, but I'm going to talk about the worst crimes, technically, I've ever committed, and it's like the worst crimes, or the pettiest crimes, or probably just the stupidest crimes. So, yeah, in the background you'll be seeing some Minecraft PC gameplay, probably cops and crims, it's guns in Minecraft, it's crazy. I hope you enjoy that. Like the video if you like these personal stories, because it's just a fun thing I do once a week. And let's get straight into this. So basically, to explain this first story, I was just 7. It's a short story because it's kind of ridiculous, but I was 7 and I really loved pick and mix. Like, I think that's a common thing amongst children, but you get to like have a cup and you get to put whatever you want in there. If you want chocolate snakes, if you want candy snakes, I don't know why so many snakes, but if you want cola bottles, you can fill it with the exact composition of snacks you want, and that's amazing, right? And I really loved a particular piece of pick and mix which I always got lots of, and it was like a chocolate football. Like they're tiny chocolate footballs, like kind of the size of a Malteser, and I bet their actual value by themselves is like a fraction of a penny, especially at that time. But yeah, I really love those, always got those. So one time we go into Tesco, and for some reason, usually like when we went to Tesco, it was like my mother, her friend, my friend, and my brother. We'd usually get some stuff, even if it's just a tiny little bag of sweets or something. But we didn't get anything that time, and I was like, ooh, well, that's upsetting. And we went past the pick and mix section, and I was like, I want a chocolate football. I'm making a stand, or 7-year-old me was just like, I want a chocolate football, yay! But yeah, so I went over to the thing. I took a chocolate football and I put it in my pocket, and I didn't pay for the single chocolate football. So yeah, that started my long career of theft. But in seriousness, so what happened was I left it in my pocket. I couldn't take it out in the car journey home, of course, which was like half an hour. And yeah, I just kind of left it, kind of forgot about it a little bit, and then later on I went out to take it out when I was by myself, and it just entirely melted because it was a kind of a warm summer's day, and there was just chocolate all over my pocket. I had to make up the worst excuse for why that was there, and basically, that's kind of the end of that. I didn't get my chocolate ball for going through all the effort of stealing, but for the next like 6 months, maybe even a year, every time I heard sirens, I was convinced they were coming after me, because it's like, oh, they found out, they checked their stocks, there's a ball missing, they're coming after me. I was convinced something like that was happening, and yeah, I got very scared of police cars, and even to this day, it's obviously not for the same reason, but I'm still a tiny frightened for like a split second every time I hear a police car that it's coming after me. So that's my first story. Very stupid. I'm sure you'll agree, but I figured I'd throw it in there because it's like a super young story. So the second story is a little bit more serious than stealing chocolate balls, which is a very serious crime, by the way, but it didn't actually hurt anyone, so don't worry about that. So basically, where I lived at one point, this was a while ago, when I was like 13, me and a couple of friends would just come and hang out every couple of days. We'd like either play some video games or just go like do something boring in a park or something, you know what teenagers do. And one day we realised that, because we'd play football on my street sometimes, that there was like a fence backing off my street onto this big factory, and there was a big kind of tear in the fence, and we figured, probably not best to just go through that anyway, but basically we decided one day we'd play some football, and if the ball accidentally went over, we could all go collect it. So the ball, of course, does go over, and we all go over to collect it, of course, and basically we just look around the place, like, because there's like a big field around the place, and we just saw there was this amazing kind of like factory slash office place, that just looked amazing and massive on the inside. So we just gave it a look around, decided, probably we've seen enough so far, probably might be breaking law, or maybe it's not okay, so we'll just leave for today. So we go back in another day with maybe a couple more friends. The group slowly grows at this point because it's a cool abandoned place, and we decided to just play some football because we have an entire room that's like secluded from the rest of the place because there's this big red kind of door looking thing that we tried to lift up because we thought it was a lift door and we just couldn't get it done. So we're like, okay, we just have a cool room that we're going to call like our clubhouse or something, and there's like paint in the room, there's like just loads of weird stuff that doesn't make any sense or anything, and yeah, that's what we basically decided to do. We play a little bit of football because it's like a perfect, like, kind of like a gym-sized room. So eventually we go in there again with maybe like 6 people this time, and one of the people, he goes in and he's like, oh, where there's a door there, and we're like, yeah, but we couldn't get it open, and like he realizes that it's a sliding door, so we open the door and we have access to the entire place. Like it's a massive building, and as we open that door we have access to the entire thing, so it's entirely empty, like the floor space place. It's all empty, and it's one of the most eerie memories, like, because it's one of the most just amazing things, having this entire place open to you to explore, and it's got that little bit of a risk factor, because it's slightly not okay or whatever, and yeah, that was one of the most amazing memories. So to quickly go into more what happened once we found out about the real place, the first time we went into it, we set off an alarm pretty quickly. I forget exactly how we did it. I think we opened a fire escape or something pretty stupid, and a really, really loud alarm went off that, like, you could hear all the way from my house, and yeah, because that went off, it was like, let's run, and we ran so far, like, to a park half an hour away, we ran all the way there, and that was the first time we went into the full place. So about 2 days later, the alarm's still going off. I tell my friends this, and one of them's like, I think I saw, like, a key rack at some point. So, we figure it's been 2 days, no one's coming to help, people probably think it's just a routine noise or something weird like that. So we go back in, realizing that it's so abandoned at this point, if no one even cares an alarm's going off. We go in and we actually find there's a massive key rack, so then we have the keys to the entire place too. And that's where it starts getting really, really ridiculous, because then we have literal access to everywhere. So first thing we do is we, like, this is so strange to say, but we start moving all the cameras, making sure they don't face the doors, like facing places where we are, just to be safe, because I didn't think they were operational. But it's always a fun thing to pretend you're in a video game, like, avoid the cameras and stuff. So we avoid cameras. We also start collecting stuff and putting it all in, like, the first room we went to, like having a stockpile of everything. And we just had so many cool, weird things. Like, we had loads of tools. We had this big thing, like automatic moving cart, like, so, like, you could just press forwards and it moves you forwards. That we could use to move big things back from other rooms to the first one. Like, it was just kind of ridiculous looking back at it. Like, 13-year-olds just kind of organizing themselves to do that. And it's one of the most biggest senses of intrigue I've ever had, because doing all this crazy stuff in this big open place that no one seems to care about. As I said, alarms went off occasionally, and sometimes they'd get fixed, sometimes they wouldn't do. And yeah, 13-year-old me just loved that. Like, there's just so many weird things. Like, for instance, we went into one, I think it must have been the staff room, and there were like 3 or 4 nude calendars in there. That's how ridiculous this place was. So, yeah, that was probably the most crazy kind of, because it technically was, I guess, trespassing, maybe, potentially. Eventually, towards the end of the summer, because we had a pretty long summer having fun in the place, so one time we find, like, this cup of tea somewhere, and it's still warm, and if you don't know, like, I guess tea must go kind of cold within, like, an hour of you making it, maybe 2 hours, so that means someone had, made tea there in the last 2 hours, so that was a spooky thing. And then secondly, like, a door got shut, and the fence got repaired one day suddenly, and we decided, you know what, we've had a good time, we tried, we gave it our best, but, now someone probably doesn't want us to be there, that's okay, we'll leave them. So, to get to where this crime becomes a crime and scary and stuff, basically at one point, with another couple friends, like, maybe a year or two later, I mentioned this in passing conversation, and they're like, oh, we should totally go there, or at least one of them was. The other one's like, yeah, sure, I guess. And so yeah, we go there because I think there must be another hole in the fence, or maybe we took a different way in. I forget how exactly we got there, but we decided to take a different way round, basically, to get to a different place, and we realized that there's no proper way in, and one of my friends just suddenly, out of nowhere, decides, oh, there's no way in, and then he finds a brick on the floor, just throws it straight through the nearest window. Like, okay, that's a little bit serious. So now serious crime, but we decide, okay, we've already done this much, we might as well relive some old memories or look around at what's going on, see that sort of thing, because I was so curious about the place. Like, it was just this big mystery place, like, that was like maybe 20 meters away from my house. So yeah, we go to check out the place, and it's mostly unchanged, but everything's just a little bit different. So, like, they cleared up after us, which is so clearly someone's maintaining it for something. And yeah, we look around the place a little bit, it's kind of cool, and I'm like, oh, everything seems to be gone. And then suddenly one of my friends just points over a window, and it's like, there are police officers over there. And we look, and there are police officers over there. So we're inside the building with police about to come into the place, and that's got to be one of the most terror moments, because there's like police officers being there and literally being, I don't know, like, I think that's 2 crimes, like breaking, entering, and trespassing. I wouldn't commit them technically, but, like, being in the shoes of, like, okay, something bad is going to go down here, we need to get out of this as fast as we can. So we head straight to the nearest exit, thinking, okay, it's on the other side of the building, we should hopefully be safe if we can run fast enough. So that's what we do. We just run, like, at a fast speed towards the door. We can't get out the door. It's locked. locked, so we have to run all the way back from the exit, and we decide our second best bet, because like you have to go through a weird fence, etc. to get there, is to go back out the entrance that we came in, through the broken window, because, you know, what are the odds the police are going to be going in through that entrance if they're going in through one. So we run straight to that exit, going so fast, like, again, never like top of the lung speed. Like, this is one of the most adrenaline-packed moments of my life. So we jump out the window and run as fast as we can, again, thinking that maybe the police are straight behind us or something like that, and we run close towards the exit and decide, okay, there's some trees here, there's like leaves, there's like a pile, and we decide to just lie down in that, like kind of cover essentially, because, you know, we have no idea where these two people are, and we don't look very innocent. And to be totally honest, we're not. So we kind of wait there for like 10 minutes. We don't see police officers, so we assume they're inside somewhere, maybe searching the place or whatever. So we get up and we just, again, we do the fastest run ever right towards the, one of the exits, like a side exit. And we see, as we go to the side exit, there's a police car there. And that was the most terrifying thing, because it's like, oh, jeez. But luckily, neither of them were in it, and we just ran straight past it and down the road, and we ran for the longest time, took the most convoluted route to get back to one of my friend's house, and we're all like, oh Jesus, that's kind of a big deal. So we never went back to the place again. I think it's changed into a church now. I have no idea how that's the case, but that was one of the most terrifying experiences. I guess that's like two of the most terrifying experiences, and I guess I learned my lesson. Or maybe I didn't. I broke into a place or stolen chocolate balls since, so you've got to give me that. So those are the two stupidest like crimes, stealing chocolate balls and deciding to go into a place because it's open and why not. They're both not good ideas, although I guess actually the first one isn't that awful an idea, so it's just kind of a waste of a crime, you know? I hope you enjoyed the video. I haven't done either of those things in many years since, and if anyone legally asks, I didn't do any of those things in the first place. It was a weird story. So thank you for watching the video. Like it if you did like it, and here is an outro.